Okay, we'll go ahead and get started then. So welcome everybody, like I said, to the Customer Support Zoom class. My name is Spencer, and I am actually the Customer Support Trainer here at Silhouette America. I'm glad to be training you guys here today. Now, as far as what we're going to cover in this class today, this is not going to be a class for setting up your machine or the tutorials on how you can use your machine. We do plan on doing that more so in the beginning of June. Kelly should actually be having that class for us. What we'll be covering today is actually going to be the basics of downloading the software, how you can upgrade, as well as update, and just some of the questions around that. So I'm very excited to be teaching this class here for you today. Now, as far as what we're covering, like I said, is to download the software as well as that whole process. But what we won't specifically be covering with the software is all of the different features. We're not going to dive into each different tool or how to send a project to your machine. But like I said, we will cover all the downloads and basics to the Silhouette Studio software. So excited for you guys to tune in for this one. Feel free to tune in for the one in June as well for the basics of your machine. So let's go ahead and get started. I'll go ahead and share my screen with you guys. Okay, now first thing I'm going to be explaining all of our different software programs and the functions of those programs. So first things first is you'd want to go to silhouetteamerica.com, or you could even go directly to the software page by going to silhouetteamerica.com/software. So here I am on the home page of Silhouette America. So now if I go ahead and click on software and then hover over desktop software, this then takes me to this page. Now let me go ahead and minimize this window here for you. And then these are all of the different programs that we offer here at Silhouette. So I'll just be going in order for you. And then lastly, we'll talk about Silhouette Go as well. So Silhouette Studio, let's start off strong here. This is one of our big programs here, our very powerful designing software. This is how you can access all of your purchase designs. This is where you could create content, you could use your created designs. And this, most importantly, is how you're actually able to send designs to your machine to cut out. So Silhouette Studio on its own is completely free to use. You're welcome to download it on all of your computers. You can download the most current version, which is the one we recommend, by just clicking either one of these links, whether you're using an Apple computer or if you're on a Windows computer. You could click the link right there to start downloading. Now, like I said, this program is completely free to use, but we do also include upgrade options so you can gain additional features. So if we click on upgrade options right here, this takes us to a page where it lists all of our different upgrades. Now, like I said, we have our Silhouette Studio Basic Edition, which is completely free. Then we have our Silhouette Studio Designer Edition, our Designer Edition Plus, as well as our Business Edition. So these are our three different upgrades. At any point, if you decided that you would like to upgrade your software, you'd be welcome to purchase a license key by scrolling down all the way to the bottom and selecting what license key you'd like to purchase. But if you want to check out the different features that you receive with each different upgrade, let's go ahead and scroll to the top, and you can actually click here to view a full feature comparison of all the different editions. So if I go ahead and click this link here, you can see it takes me to this page. Now, the way that this page is formatted is it shows you all of our different upgrades again, as well as the price attached to each different upgrade. And then it gives you these check marks. What this is doing is that for each one of these different editions, it shows the check marks for what features are included with that edition. So as I scroll down here, I can see all the ones that are included in every version of the software. And then after this, this is where I would then need the Designer Edition to get these features. The Designer Edition are higher. And as I scroll down, you can see then that down here, this requires the Designer Edition Plus, and lastly, the Business Edition. Now, if you ever had any questions about these features, I strongly recommend that you actually click on the video link next to any one of these different features you can use, and this will take you directly to our YouTube tutorials for that feature. So if you're reading through this and you decide, I don't know what sharing is, I would like to know if that's useful, if I would like that, if it's worth upgrading to the Designer Edition, you could actually click on that video icon right there and it'll take you directly to our YouTube link. Now, the only features here I mainly want to point out, because they're our most popular, would have to be this one right here, the ability to import SVG and PDF files. This makes it so that you could have cutting files from maybe different websites or saved already from a different program, and you could import those files directly into your Silhouette Studio so you could work with them. And then the other the other feature I want to talk about, this one by the way is with the Designer Edition, but if we scroll all the way to the bottom here, there's the option right here to export as SVG, PDF, or JPEG files. This is a very useful feature so that when you create something in Silhouette Studio, you can actually save it as an SVG file so you could use it in maybe a different program. If you have a different cutting machine, you could even save SVG files and work with that one as well. And this would require the business edition of the software. Now, like I said, I'm not going to dive into all of these different features, but if you do have any questions about them, I do strongly recommend checking the YouTube link tied to the different feature. So now, if we jump back, like I said, if you decided that you'd like to purchase an upgrade, you're more than welcome to do so by scrolling to the bottom and selecting which upgrade you want. If you already have purchased an upgrade and you'd like to upgrade higher, for instance, if I bought the Designer Edition, I could actually then choose to upgrade from the Designer Edition to a higher edition of the software. And what this does is it just makes it so you pay the difference of your purchase so that it would have been the same amount of money as if you bought the higher edition to start with. So that is a very useful feature. But please do note though that this does require you to have that lower edition in order for this license key to work. Okay, so now if we jump back, let's dive into our next software program. Like I said, you can download the current version right here by clicking on either Mac or Windows. I'm personally using a PC, so I would want to download this Windows link. We always strongly recommend that you use the most current version of the software, but if you'd like to try our beta version, you're also welcome to download that. This is just a software version though that is in testing. So if you experience any issues with the beta version, please understand that it is just in testing and we would recommend going back to the current version. So then if you have any questions about this program, feel free to drop them into the chat, but let's continue on to Silhouette Connect. So with Silhouette Connect, this is not actually a software program, but it's actually considered to be a plugin. Now what this does is it means that this is meant to be used with something like Adobe Illustrator or Corel Draw. The useful thing about Silhouette Connect is this makes it so that you can still use your other third-party program like Adobe Illustrator. You can still work from that, and you can then actually send your project directly from Adobe Illustrator to your Silhouette cutting machine. So if you had a Cameo, you could work with Corel Draw, you could create your file, and then you could actually send it directly to your Cameo. Now Silhouette Connect is not free, it does require the purchase of a license key. So if I click right here, you have the option to purchase this license key for $39.99. Now all of our license keys, the way they work is after purchase it is a one-time purchase, and it makes it so that you can then use that license key onto 3 computers simultaneously. At any point you could then even deactivate a license key and you could then attach it to a different computer, which I'll show you that process here in just a moment. But with Silhouette Connect, if you're curious if we had a version of Silhouette Connect that would be compatible with your version of Adobe Illustrator or Corel Draw, you can always just check right up here at the top. So as you can see right now we are compatible with Corel Draw 2021 as well as Adobe Illustrator 2020. Same thing with Silhouette Studio. Please feel free to download the most current version. Right here you would either click the Mac or Windows. Okay, if we continue on then to Silhouette Model Maker, this is a very fun program. What this program is meant for is that you're actually able to design in a 3D environment to make a 3D model of a project. And then when you're done modeling it, it will then unfold it onto a piece of paper and show you how you could then print that off and put that together. So the best example is maybe you have some experience of with a friend or in schooling when you'd be given a sheet of a cube that would be unfolded. You'd cut it out and you'd fold it together to make your 3-dimensional cube. That is what this software program is able to do. You can design in a 3D environment to make that cube and then it will unfold it for you so that you can then print it out and fold it together. This program does require the purchase of a license key, which you can just click right here. And then this program runs you at $49.99. Like I said, this is a one-time purchase, and it makes it so that you can use it on 3 computers simultaneously. you're welcome to download the software right here. And if you download it, you're even given a 15-minute free trial where you can see if it's something you would be interested in before purchasing the license key. Okay, next up is our very exciting Silhouette 3D. Now this is our software that is actually meant for our 3D printer, our Silhouette Alta. So this software program, it's absolutely free. You're welcome to download the version right here. And this makes it so you can connect and send files to your 3D printer. And the reason why we have this separate from Silhouette Studio is that these files work differently than a regular cut file would that you would send to your Cameo. So this software program is compatible with our 3D printer, and it makes it so that you can actually make your 3D designs to print out to your machine. Like I said, it is absolutely free to download, so feel free to download it on multiple computers. And then next up here we have our Mint Studio. This is for our stamp maker, our Silhouette Mint. Like I said, this requires a different software program because these are a little bit different than cut files. So it does require a software program that's built more around stamps. So you're welcome to download this at any point by clicking on these links. And also what I want to mention with our software programs is if you have any questions, if your computers may be compatible with any of our software programs, you can click right here for the minimum system requirements. And this will actually tell you the requirements for each software program. So this one here shows Silhouette Studio, Silhouette Connect, and Silhouette 3D. What I would like to mention is that with Silhouette 3D, this does have slightly higher requirements than maybe our Silhouette Studio would. As you can see here, this would require for your computer to be 2.5 gigahertz of processor speed. When you compare that to Silhouette Studio having 2 gigahertz. So please note that if you do have any questions about if your computer is compatible, please feel free to check out that link. Like I said, you can actually find that by just looking at the bottom of any one of these tabs and just clicking right here for minimum system requirements. And you can view that there. Now, let's go ahead and talk about Silhouette Go. This is our most recent release as far as our programs go, and this is our mobile app. So this is a very fun program. I personally love using this with my machine all the time. What Silhouette Go does is this is a mobile app that you can download from Google Play or Apple Store. And what it does is it connects your phone to your Bluetooth compatible machine, and it makes it so you can access any of your saved user designs, any of your purchase designs, or even SVG files that you maybe have saved to your phone. Now, what you can do with these files is you can open them up in Silhouette Go. You can adjust the size, the position, the orientation, like you can rotate it. And then you can actually send it directly to your machine via Bluetooth. Now, if you're wanting to use any of the more advanced features of the software, you'd actually want to then go to Silhouette Studio, as Silhouette Studio has access to the more advanced features. Silhouette Go is meant to be able to connect to your library so you can send your saved designs directly to your machine. As you can see here on our page, we just have a lot of useful information, especially if you scroll down all the way to the bottom. It then actually tells you the way you can download. It tells you to go to the Play Store or Apple. And then it also tells you just the quick overview as well as what machines are compatible here. So all the machines listed here are our Bluetooth compatible models. And so if you have any of those machines, please feel free to use Silhouette Go. Like I said, it is very useful. I like using it with my machine all the time. So now that we have went over all these different software programs, let's actually dive into how you upgrade your software. So let's say that you went through and you decided, I want the business edition of Silhouette Studio. You went through and actually purchased your Silhouette Studio Business Edition license key. You would then be emailed a 16-digit license key code that you could then apply to the software. So if I pull up Silhouette Studio, as you can see right here, I have it pulled up, and you can then upgrade your software by clicking on Help in the very top, and then actually clicking on Upgrade Silhouette Studio. Now, from here, you're then going to need to type in all of this information as far as your account email address, the password attached to your account, and then the 16-digit license key code in these 4 sections. After you finish typing in the 16-digit license key code, you could then click Submit, and it's going to upgrade your software. Now, if at a future point you decided that you did not actually want the license key attached to this computer, possibly you're selling your computer, or you just bought a new one and rather have it attached to that one, you can then actually click on Help and choose to deactivate a license key at any point. That will then return one of those 3 uses back to your license key, so that at any point you can actually be using the upgraded software on 3 computers at a time. Now, also, if you were to click on About Silhouette Studio, this is going to tell you what version of the software you're on, as well as tell you if you're upgraded. As you can see, I'm currently only on the Basic Edition, but if I was trying to decide, do I need to update? You can actually check right here and compare this to the most current version that we have listed on Silhouette America. So, like I said, this is the process that you can actually take to upgrade your Silhouette Studio. So now that we have covered that, let's talk about updating your software. So upgrading will give you the additional features of a paid upgrade, and updating will bring you to a more current version of Silhouette Studio. So as far as how you update, the process is very simple. As far as it is very similar to downloading the software. So if you go back to silhouetteamerica.com/software, or you click on software and choose desktop software, all you need to do is actually just click on the current version link next to the current version for whichever computer you're using. From here, it's then going to start downloading. And then as you can see, it popped up here with the download in the bottom left of my screen. If I then click on that, it's going to take me through this installation process. First, it just needs to finish downloading. It does take about 30 seconds to a minute to finish downloading. This is the download process right here, as you can see on this little bar. And then when it finishes downloading, it then goes through the installation process. And this is the same process for any of our software programs. If you're wanting to download the most current version, all you have to do is you click the link and then it will start downloading for you, and then you can then open it up to start running the installation. So it looks like mine is just about finished here. And then when it does finish, it will then boot up the installation. And then since I already have it installed, it very well could just update the software. Okay, so next up here with the installation, it pops up with the setup wizard. So from here, all you need to do is wait for it to finish there, and then you can click on next. You then could click next. This is just asking where you want to save it in your computer. Usually where it automatically pops up with the program files, that's where you are fine to save it. So feel free to just click next. And then from here, all you need to do is you click install. If you have any sort of administration login on your computer, you will need to enter it there. After you click install, it's just going to run through some folders and files like Bonjour, and then it will finish updating. And then feel free to boot up Silhouette Studio. Now, I don't need to do this because I'm already updated, but feel free to take that process. And that is the process of installing and updating on any one of these different versions. So what I'd like to talk about now is just some of the useful features here that we have with Silhouette Studio. So like I said, if you click here to view the full comparison chart, right here you can see all the different listed features. If you're ever needing a tutorial on something like a print and cut, you can check it right here. You can click on this link. As far as the useful features I would like to point out, like I said, is the ability to import SVG files. This makes it so if you have something from a different website, you can then use it in Silhouette Studio. Or the option that I showed you at the bottom to export. But as you can see, we have many different features here for Silhouette Studio. Like I said, this is a very powerful designing software program. I always feel like I'm only scratching the surface with what I can actually do on this software program. So at any point, you're welcome to check out the links to this video. And then, do we have any questions so far that we feel like answering? Okay, wonderful. I'm glad that this is making sense for everybody. So as far as the different software programs, like I said, you can access them at any point by clicking on software and desktop software, and we always recommend using the most current version. As far as the brief overview of what we wanted to go over today, this is all we needed to talk about as far as how to download the most current version and the installation process. The main reminder here is that also if you've ever purchased a license key, you can actually find it by clicking on right up here, your name, and then you can click on My Account, and you just want to choose the license key section. And this will show you any upgrades that you have purchased in the past. So if you happen to forget that code, you don't have that email anymore, feel free to access it by clicking on that. And then this will tell you how many installations you have left as well. So this is the code that you can then use to upgrade the software.
Spencer, we do have a question. A couple people, so we talked about, upgrading it and how that's different than updating it, but how do you update your software?
Yeah, definitely, no worries. I appreciate that question. So updating is a pretty simple process as far as all you need to do is, like I said, you click this software section, then you go to desktop software, and let's say, for instance, I wanted to be updating Silhouette Studio. The process, all you have to do is actually click on the link next to the most current version. So if I was on an older version of the software and I wanted to download this most current version, all I have to do is click on this link, and like I said, it starts this download process and you just run through the installation. And then that is the process for updating. Simple as 1, 2, 3. Good question. Are there any other questions? Well, this was the overview as far as downloading and updating. Main reminder once again is just if you want to be upgrading your software, remember that you can actually do that in Silhouette Studio just by clicking Help and Upgrade. And if you're wanting to update, you can actually just do that directly from our site. And upgrading will give you the additional features, and updating just gets you on a more current version of Silhouette Studio. But that is all from me. I do appreciate you guys joining in with this Zoom class. If you do have any other questions, feel free to be sending them in the chat. But other than that, I do really appreciate you guys coming in. Make sure to tune into our future classes. Like I said, in the beginning of June, we'll actually have a tutorial process for your machine with Kelly. And so make sure to tune in for that one. But if that's all, I do appreciate you guys checking in here with us. It was my pleasure to be teaching you the basics of customer support with downloading and updating the software.